Exercise 13.2, we're now going to multiply with common fractions. Number 1, they're asking you a half of 20. That means you're going to multiply a half with 20. So it's going to be 1 over 2 times 20 over 1. Then if you look at the 2 and the 20, you see that they can simplify by dividing by 2. So you can divide 20 by 2 and you can divide 2 by 2. Then you'll find that it is 1 over 1 times 10 over 1. And 1 times 10 gives you 10. Number 2, 2/3 of 21. So it's going to be 2/3 times 21, or 2 over 3 times 21 over 1. You can simplify by dividing by 3. So 21 divided by 3 gives you 7, and 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. So the next step you'll find with 2 over 1 times 7 over 1, or 2 times 7. That gives you 14. Now we're going to look at mixed numbers. First thing you need to do is you need to make it an improper fraction. So 2.5 is 5 over 2. So your next step will be 5 over 2 times 2 over 5. You can see that you can simplify by dividing by 2. So if you divide 2 by 2, you get 1, and divide 2, you get 1. So your next step will be 5 over 1 times 1 over 5. Now you can simplify with the 5s by dividing by 5. So you'll find that it is 1 over 1 times 1 over 1, which is 1 times 1. So your final answer is 1. Alternatively, if you don't simplify, you can say 5 times 2 for the numerators and 2 times 5 for the denominators. So you'll find an answer of 10 over 10, and that will give you 1. Number 10, you first need to convert the mixed numbers to improper fractions. So you'll find it is 13 over 4 times 3 over 2. If you look at this problem, you'll see that you cannot simplify. So you are forced to multiply 13 by 3, which gives you 39, and 4 times 2 gives you 8. Then you're just going to convert it back to a mixed number, and the final answer will be 4 and 7 over 8. Number 11, convert it to improper fractions. So it's going to be 5 over 3 times 9 over 5. With this one, you can simplify again. The 3 and the 9 you can divide by 3. So 9 divided by 3 gives you 3, and 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. If you look at the next step, you'll see that the 5s can simplify by dividing by 5. So 5 divided by 5 gives you 1, and 5 divided by 5 gives you 1. So now I'll find the next step. It's 1 over 1 times 3 over 1, or just 1 times 3, which will give you a final answer of 3. If you did not simplify, you're just going to say 5 times 9 gives you 45, and 3 times 5 gives you 15. Then if you simplify this, you'll see that 15 goes into itself once, and it goes into 45 3 times. So your final answer will be 3. Number 12. convert it to improper fractions. So it's going to be 8 over 5 times 25 over 8. You can simplify the 5 and the 25 by dividing it by 5. So 25 divided by 5 gives you 5, and 5 divided by 5 gives you 1. So in the next step, you'll sit with 8 over 1 times 5 over 8. Now you'll see that the 8's cancels each other out, or can be simplified by dividing by 8. So 8 divided by 8 gives you 1. And 8 divided by 8 gives you 1. So the next step will be 1 over 1 times 5 over 1. Or just 1 times 5. That gives you a final answer of 5. Number 17. Let's convert it to improper fractions. So then you'll find it is 2 over 3 times 4 over 3 times 5 over 6. If you look at the 4 and the 6, we can simplify it by dividing by 2. 4 divided by 2 gives you 2, and 6 divided by 2 gives you 3. So in the next step, you'll have 2 over 3 times 2 over 3 times 5 over 3. You cannot simplify, so you need to multiply the denominators and the numerators. So you're going to say 2 times 2 times 5 and 3 times 3 times 3. That gives you 20 over 27. Number 18. Convert the mixed numbers to improper fractions. So you'll sit with 3 over 2 times 4 over 3 times 13 over 4. You need to look if there's any way of simplifying it. Yes, you can. Divide by 3. So 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. And 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. So in the next step, you'll see that it is 1 over 2 times 4 over 1 times 13 over 4. If you want to simplify it, the 4's can cancel each other out. Or if you divide by 4, you'll see that it equals 1. So 1 over 2 times 1 over 1 times 13 over 1. You can't simplify any further. So you're going to say 1 times 13 gives you 13. And 2 times 1 gives you 2. You just need to convert it back to a mixed number. So the final answer will be 6 and a half. Number 19, convert it to improper fractions. So it's 50 over 9 times 32 over 25 times 15 over 8. First thing, you try to simplify. So if you look at the 50 and the 25, you can divide them both by 25. 50 divided by 25 gives you 2, and 25 divided by 25 gives you 1. So in the next step, you'll have 2 over 9 times 32 over 1 times 15 over 8. Now the 32 and the 8 can be simplified by dividing by 8. So 32 divided by 8 gives you 4, and 8 divided by 8 gives you 1. So in the next step, you'll have 2 over 9 times 4 over 1 times 15 over 1. Now you can simplify the 9 and the 15 by dividing both by 3. 15 divided by 3 gives you 5, and 9 divided by 3 gives you 3. So now you sit with 2 over 3 times 4 over 1 times 5 over 1. You cannot simplify any further, so you're going to multiply the 2 by the 4 by the 5, and the 3 times 1 times 1. Then you'll sit with 40 over 3, and you just need to convert it back to a mixed number, which will be 13 and a third.